So, so as we know in parental generation, if we take on tallness and dwarfness, what we are getting, all the tall plants are coming. Now, if I cross any two F1 generation, then we used to get F2 generation. That is what? A tall TT and next one small capital T, small t, capital T, small t, and completely dwarfness is coming. So now if you notice it, this is only ways to called as this formation of F2 generation is only ways to called as what ways to call law of segregation, because you might be see in F2 generation either tallness is appears one pair of one factor only present in a single gamete. Understanding? So see, before what is present, either dwarfness or tallness is present in this F1 generations. Understanding? So because a tall plant is involving and dwarf plants is involving in the crossbreeding, so we are getting all the tall plants. But when it is producing in the F2 generation, only when it is forming the gamete, means in the sense of next baby, either tall plant is coming or dwarf plant is only coming. So that is what I can say. For example, if I'll take, so this one, let me take now, this is the plant I have. So now, if it is started forming into the meiosis in the sense of what? The future babies, after the process it is started, meiosis, then it is only while it is forming the what we can say gametes, so only one factor will form individually into the gametes, and finally segregation, how it will take place, it will turns into one gamete, capital T one gamete, and small t another gamete. So that is why we are getting independently. Have you noticed it? Tallness is independently involving and dwarfness is independently involving. So there is no blending of these two. This is only ways to called as. That is why no intermediate plants are coming. No intermediate or medium height is plants is coming. So this is only ways to called as law of segregation. Are you understand? Please respond if you understand or not. So this, if you take every factor, you can see an organism is determined by the internal factors which occurs in pairs, but only one pair of such a factor, present in the single gamete. When it is forming the gametes, only such a one pair is only present. That is only called as law of segregation. Is it okay, Ra? So there is no mixing up or blending is taking place when it is in forming the gametes of F2 generation from the F1 generation. This is only ways to say law of segregation, or we can say first law of inheritance. Is it okay, guys? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we can, so that is why I said a very important point you have to remember. What is that important point? So while it is forming F1 generation or F2 generation, so there is no mixing or blending of tallness and dwarfness. Either tallness is coming or dwarfness is coming, because they are not mixed each other. So that is why we can say that they are not at all happening together. They are independently inherited. Either tallness is inherited or dwarfness is inherited. Means we can say when they are forming the gametes means sex cells, either tallness is coming, only one pair of such a factor. Understand? One pair of a factor is present in the single gamete. So this is only ways to called as law of segregation or first law of inheritance. Please write. Have you understand? This diagram you can draw. TT, and this one. So this is only ways to say. So or else if you are not understand, sir, I want one more diagram, you can draw that also, like in the form of chromosomes. For example, if you take chromosome diagrams also, we can draw that. So now, if you take the chromosomes diagrams also, you might be see how the chromosomes in single chromosome is the representation or characteristics we can say when it is transformed. So now if you take, suppose for example, father you can take, so one pair of chromosomes, yes or no? So chromosomes we can take it as a, like this. This is the shape of the chromosomes. Next, mother also, it is having one set of chromosomes. So when they are forming the gametes in the sense of what, guys? Sperm, yes or no? Here is the sperm it is forming. So when they are forming the gametes, so now only what is that? Only one pair it is coming. As we know, sperms in human beings, as I told you, what is that? X and Y chromosomes. Here, both XX chromosomes is present. Yes or no? So while they are forming, then it will be splitting up into, so usually they are having a two pairs of chromosomes. So now it will be splitting up into a single pair of chromosomes. Understand? So first of all, you can take here, so it will be splitting into a single chromosome, and here also a single chromosome is to come, and female mother also same thing is to appears. So this is only you can say. So meiosis, first meiosis, what will happen? First meiosis happening, two pairs of individual chromosomes is there. So first step meiosis, the chromosomes is splitting into two. This is the stage one, and this is stage two. Finally, see, single pair of that trait is coming. This is only ways to called as law of segregation. So that it will be started splitting up into individually. That is only law of segregation we can say. Okay, guys? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, if you'll understand this one, so please all of you write the definition, right? According to the Mendel's first law of inheritance, according to the Mendel's first law of inheritance, the characteristics of an organism, the characteristics of an organism are determined by internal factors, are determined by internal factors which occurs in pairs, So meiosis one. Meiosis means splitting of new cells here. That is, which occurs in pairs. Next, only one pair of such factor, can be present in a single gamete. Only one pair of such factor can be present in a single gamete. Now, if you'll understand this, hope 90% you people can understand what is law of segregation. Is it clear, guys? So this is what it is happening in meiosis 1, stage 1, and meiosis 2. So you can see a 4 gametes is forming. So this is only gametes. So maybe the chromosomes they occurs in phase, but when the time of formation of gametes, only single factor is present in each gamete. Do you understand, guys? Please respond. So this is M2 stage, meiosis 2. So while at the time of formation of gametes, only single factor of such a pair is responsible. That is only ways to called as law of segregation. Is it okay, guys? Please respond. So meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. All of you write it. This picture you can draw down. Understand, Varshini Vinci? That is. Any doubt, anybody can ask me. Akshaya, Tarani. Okay, that is. So please write it. So now, what is the results of this monohybrid inheritance? We'll study. That is what explanation of results of monohybrid inheritance. So he said that parental generation will give all tall plants only in F1 generation, and F1 generation if you'll cross, What is the ratio we have been found? Monohybrid ratio. 3:1 ratio.
3:1.
Tall plants and dwarf plants is forming. So now, what is the explanation of his Mendel's results of monohybrid inheritance? Now we'll study. So please, all of you keep reading. Explanation of results of monohybrid inheritance. Explanation of results of monohybrid inheritance. That's right. Right. So as we know that, first of all, as we know, Mendel said that there is no genes. So he said, what is the first thing he has been concluded? So traits is determined by what? Is it a single pair of factor or a pair of a single factor or pair of factors? Always pair of factors. That is what in present we are calling as a pair of genes we are calling. So Mendel said that each trait is determined by how many guys? Determined by pair of factors. Pair of factors. That is the first thing. So means in the sense of what? If you take a pure breed tall pea plant, 2 factors it is having. What is that? Pure breed pea plant. What is that? Tall pea plant. What is the pair of that? Tall pea plant here. Arvind, what is that pure breed tall pea plant? What is the pair of a factor? Capital TT. Understand? That is for tallness. Next one. The second one, what it is? Pure breed dwarfness. If you take, it is having a small TT. That is only dwarfness. So that's what he said. So from that only he said that F1 parental generation, if you take, it is what? Each trade is determined always a pair of factors. What is the factor? Capital TT is the tallness, small TT is the dwarfness. That is the first one. Okay, guys. So now when it is forming into the gametes, so the factors of inheritance of tallness. So this TT will separate into what? Just now I said this TT will separate into what? This TT is separating into what? 2 gametes it will separate. How it is? See here, single one it is containing TT. When it is separating into 2 gametes, how it will come? 1 T and another T. When it is forming the gametes, that is what is only law of segregation. Yes or no, guys? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
So now,
Yes, sir.
of inheritance of tallness separate, capital TT separate into 2 gametes called as capital T and capital T, and same way if we take dwarfness also will separating into the another 2 gametes. That is what is called as what? Small t and small t. That is what we used to call as gametes. So while gametes they are forming, a single trait, single factor is responsible for that. So now you can see the traits are transmitted to the progeny through the gametes. Only in this capital pair will become what? A single TT. That is only the second point. The segregation is taking place. When the tallness or dwarfness, during the time of the factors of inheritance, they are separating into individual gametes. While their formation of gametes, they are separating into individually. That is what the second explanation of the results of monohybrid inheritance. Please write it. So the factors of inheritance of tallness separate into T and T gametes, 2 gametes, and as well as dwarfness separating into 2 other gametes called as small t and small t. So whatever the traits they are transmitted to the progeny means offsprings through these gametes only. That is what it is happening. So now third point. What is the third point? F1 generation, correct? So F1 generation means formation of F1 generation from whom, guys? Parental cross. Yes or no? Please respond. Parental cross means parental generation. That is only third one he has been noticed it. So if we'll take, So what do you mean by the third result is, so he has been done the parental cross. So parental cross means what? Anybody can say? Varshini Vensi, parental cross means what? Capital TT into small tt. Okay, guys? Capital TT into small tt. So this is only ways to called as what? Tall plant, and this is only ways to called as
Dwarf.
so this is what it has been noticed there. So in this what happened means the gametes of tall pea plant then cross with the gametes of dwarf pea plant. By the process of fertilization, they will form the zygotes which will produce various progeny. That is only ways to called as what ways to call? Ways to called as F1 generation. Understand? So in this F1 generation or first generation, which consists of all the tall plants and F1 generation process, only one factor is inherited from each parent. That is only called the which were carried out in the gametes. So that is what if we'll cross this all. Let me take now first factor. So if we'll take this one, it will be separating into TT, separating into what? Two small TTs. Yes or no? Gametes. Correct, guys? Please respond. And this dwarfness also, they are involving independently. So it will be separating into small tt. Now if you cross them, and they will fertilize and they will form. So can anybody say first one? So let me take the first generation is capital T and small t is crossing. So that what is to come, guys? Who is to get the F1 generation, capital T, small t. So that is why it is tall only. Next. Let me take this one. So now if you cross, so again capital T and this one will come small t. So that what is to get again? Again what is to get, guys? Tall only is coming. Okay, guys? If we'll take, next you can take this one and you can take oh, sorry. Here we have been done mistake. Just a small error. So this is first only. So we can take this. So at a capital T with the two T's with this only. So next this T will with this T. So that is also ways to get capital T and small t. And same way this T and this T used to get, and again ways to get capital T and small t. So all ways to get tall and tall only. Is it okay, guys? F1 generation genotype. So this is only ways to called as F1 generation genotype. And this is called as what? Anybody can say this tall. What ways to call? This is only called as F1 generation phenotype. F1 generation phenotype. And this is called as F1 generation genotype. Okay, guys, please respond. And this is only ways to called as crossing. See, first T we are crossing with the first two T's we are crossing with the small t, and the next small t is crossing with the next two T's. Always we are used to get all F1 everything. So small t represents recessive trait of dwarfness, which does not shown up in the first generation. Only in the presence of dominant trait capital T, second generation dwarfness is present, but it is recessive trait. It is not at all shown up in the first generation. So this is what he has been found. So now, please till here all of you noted down. So from here we'll continue in the next class. So that is what one more result he has been said. So that is only F1 cross. So now this is what cross? Parent cross. Yes or no, guys? So parental cross if you have been found. So we used to get tall plant and dwarf plants if we cross each other. So we used to get all the tall plants only. So that F1 generation genotype is TT, and TT. And F1 generation phenotype is what, guys? What is the F1 generation phenotype? All phenotype, what?
All tall.
All tall plants only it is coming. So now F1 cross also, if you want, you can do. So that F1 crossing, if you do, we used to get one dwarf plant. That is only fourth result which has been made by monohybrid inheritance. That F1 cross we'll see in the next class, and also next class we'll continue what is law of independent assortment. Okay. So with this I leave you. So hope you all understand what is the first law of segregation, or else first law of inheritance, and as well as monohybrid inheritance. Is it yes, guys? Any doubt? You can ask me. But in exam also, it is descriptive now. So kindly, neatly how to explain and how to write it. Okay, perfectly how to draw the pictures, and your textbook may not be having perfectly, but you people need to understand the concept and write according to your manner. Then only people will get good marks. So that is what I can suggest. So with this, I leave you. So tomorrow we'll see the fourth result of this first monohybrid inheritance, and we'll continue dihybrid inheritance in the tomorrow's class. So thank you all of you. Bye.